Liquidity challenges are just all too common today. With the depth and breadth of the recession, virtually all companies are facing some challenges around liquidity. As you know, we've had more bankruptcy filings in the first half of 2009 than in all of 2007. Many of the lenders who were actively engaging providing working capital for companies are no longer in business themselves. So some of the things that organizations can do to address the liquidity crisis, first and foremost, to be sure that they're forecasting often and they're forecasting based on actual results as well as current market conditions. Secondly, that you're really looking at your business along key products, services, and customers so you understand which of those aspects of your business are actually driving profitability. Align yourself to those products, services, and customers to try to drive even more revenue and profitability. Communicate with your lenders is very important. Helping them understand what you're doing to address your liquidity crisis is very, very important. So those are some of the initiatives that you can undertake to deal with today's liquidity crisis. As the economy improves, the question now becomes, how does one look for liquidity to finance the next phase of growth for their business? One of the first and foremost things that we need to do is have a business take a look at their own cash-to-cash cycle. That is, what are the things that they can do to improve working capital and operations internally? Secondly, actually begin forecasting your liquidity needs for growth. Just as you often forecast and budget operations, now look at forecasting and budgeting liquidity so that you understand what your needs are at what moment in time. Begin communicating with the outside parties so that it potentially can be your source of liquidity. So that means communicating often with not only your current lender, but potentially beginning to talk to others in the marketplace that you may not have had a previous relationship with, who may be eager to lend money as the economy begins to improve. Lastly, I would suggest that you talk to your board and your investors about what you feel is your strategy for growth and how you will finance that growth. Often sitting on your boards are instrumental members of the business community, along with probably your investor group. Even if your current investor group are going to be unable to provide you with the equity capital you may need to grow, they may be able to help by introducing you to other equity investors. So it's never too early to begin planning for that liquidity for growth. Negotiating with lenders today, I think first and foremost you have to realize that the business of lending money has changed. Banks have much tighter internal requirements and the decision-making process within lending institutions has changed. So first I would suggest that for those lenders that you're currently doing business with, that you communicate with them often and that you're really building a rapport. Be sure that you have a well-articulated business strategy and financial plan that you can talk through with them, particularly as it relates to the underlying assumptions. Second, begin building relationships with lenders who you've not previously done business with. It's important to understand where else you can go in the marketplace if your existing lending relationship is not right for you as you move forward. I'd also suggest that you recognize that the process of obtaining financing will take longer, will be much more complex than you've probably ever anticipated it would be. It's changed dramatically in the current market. And lastly, if at all possible, I'd highly recommend that you seek an independent, objective third party to review your forecast, your business plan, and your financing needs, because that then gives you additional support as you go forth to the lending community.